All right, welcome back to Flashpoint and our look back and look ahead. Before we get into making some predictions for the year ahead, though, Stephen, Henry said something interesting, and I think there's been an interesting disconnect among the parties, certainly among science and politics on the global warming issue. To say that we've got a lot of politicians who've convinced a lot of Americans that this is not real. Which is strange. In fact, one of the reasons why I very seldom do anything about one of the reasons why I very seldom do anything about global warming on this program is because to host a debate about it suggests that there is a debate about it, and in the scientific community there is no debate about it.
That's not true.
It's absolutely not.
Here we go. There we go.
I can find the outlier 5%, but the 95% of the people
scientists
who study
the planet
this.
is warming. Recent poll is that 43% of scientists think that man-made emissions are affecting.
That's absurd. That's not true.
There's no way. I've covered this issue for 25 years.
There's no way that's
and I can tell you that absolutely. The top climatologist in the world is Richard Lindzen of MIT. He says that the global warming movement is religion.
Let me take it back then to its most basic elements. If you live in front of a pond and you dump all of your sewage in the pond, you can ruin the pond. You'd agree with that, correct?
Absolutely.
And industry along a river can ruin a river and everything downstream of the river for a foreseeable way.
Absolutely.
Then why do we have a hard time believing that we can do that all over the planet with our stuff and junk and smoke and...
So, Devin, you honestly believe that what you're breathing, what you are respirating right now, carbon dioxide, is pollution?
I know that it's poisonous to some things.
Poisonous to us.
It's poisonous to me. Yeah. I mean, I need oxygen, not what I'm getting rid of. I need what I'm taking in. But
you need what you get out too. Carbon dioxide is not poison. It is not pollution. It is a fundamental.
It's absolutely poison.
It is a fundamental building block to the Industrial Revolution that has made this world rich for the 20th century.
Let me let Nolan weigh in here, because I do think it's... This is one of those areas where, because I look around the world, or we all look around the world, we feel like we're experts. If I was sitting down to talk brain cancer surgery with a specialist in it, I wouldn't challenge him. I would believe what he told me, and yet we all feel like we can weigh in on global warming.
You wouldn't necessarily... I mean, when somebody tells you science is settled, you ought to be worried. Science is never settled. And I think there are a number of unanswered questions here that we ought to be exploring, and that the political climate, the emotional climate, the religious climate of this shuts down any sort of discussion. I think before we start throwing people back into poverty here, we ought to be very sure that what we're doing will actually have an impact. I believe we should live as cleanly as possible, and I believe as a human race we have the resources to find a technological solution to this without saying, oh, we're going to shut down our power plants, we're going to shut down our industries and what have you. I don't know how you're going to run these lights, Devin, in 35 years when we're carbon neutral, because windmills aren't going to do this. And so I think we have an obligation to find technological solutions here without destroying our economy, without putting burdens on people, undue burdens on people. We've got time here.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, but I think that looking for solutions is different from arguing that it does not exist. I think that there are solutions that we could look at. I don't know that windmills will light this studio in 35 years, but the reality of it is that you started off by saying there are people who are debating whether global warming exists, and I don't believe that we can continue to have that discussion. Let's move on to how we do some things that will make us great in the next 30 years instead of talking about, does it still happen?
You have to keep having discussions. I mean,
the planet is
lively
debate that's
causes.
Hang on. Let's just
So the planet is warming. We are starting to see the consequences of that warming, right?
But it's warming because we're coming out of a little ice age in the middle of the 18th century. This is natural. This is a natural process.
It's entirely possible we have contributed to that warming. There is no debate about that. But there is reasonable argument to be had about what to do, and whether as the dominant species on the planet at this time, there's sort of a call to us to try to figure out ways to reverse it. I mean, this is a really important human moment as well. We are the first species on the planet who who could even have the conversation about whether to reverse the effects.
Doing anything
the
about
planet
it.
has warmed and cooled a lot over time.
Well, Henry,
but we can do something
Henry,
about
what
it.
I always say is if the one side is wrong, if those who believe that there's man-made global warming, and we do everything we can to try and reverse it, we're only out money. If the other side is wrong, we're out so much more than just money.
But
we got no place to live.
But we already know the other side's wrong because all the computer models have failed their predictions for the last 50 years.
Right? I swore I wasn't going to host this debate.
You can't deny that. That is absolutely
the computer
fact,
models
that
are wrong.
Computer models have been wrong. I mean, it
This
doesn't
is,
change
and
the
I would
fact.
certainly agree with what you said. This is why I would agree with what you said earlier, that anybody who says the science is settled is
Exactly.
that but there are certain things here. Are you not concerned about the fact that we are way out of step with the rest of the world on this issue? Is that
Well,
not
I don't
matter?
think that's true at all. I think over the last 25 years, we've reduced
You said
our
200 signatories on this.
We've reduced our carbon dioxide emission levels to the lowest point in 25 years. The United States is not an outlier here, and we've done it by using natural gas.
Before we go, we got to make some prediction for next year. I did exactly what I said I didn't want to do. I hosted a debate on global warming. The President of the United States at this time next year will be
Barack
Stephen
Obama,
Henderson.
because
very good, very good.
That's
the,
for
the,
sure.
the president,
The president-elect.
elect at this time next year will be
Hillary Clinton.
Henry.
Chris Christie.
Chris Christie.
Oh, that's a bold prediction.
I like. I wanted some bold. Yes.
Hillary
yes.
Clinton.
Marco Rubio.
That's a good bold prediction.
So let's let you two have the last 20 seconds to why will it be Marco Rubio?
I think he has the most appeal to both Trump supporters when they start falling off and to establishment Republicans. I think the donors will line up behind him.
And Henry, Chris Christie's had a hard time finding traction, but you're not.
Well,
you haven't given up, obviously.
Yeah, again, I think this San Bernardino security moment was a key moment. This is the worst attack we've had since 9/11, and Christie has a lot of experience in the security issue. He's
Sandy
also
Hook was the worst attack we've had since 9/11.
but it's not by terrorists.
Sure was. Just wasn't an Arab terrorist.
Right.
But let me say this.
See how we
Trump
define
is not going to be the nominee. He's going to hit a ceiling, and at that point, the establishment coalesces around a candidate, and they like to coalesce around governors.
I'm having you all back. We'll hammer out that global warming issue on a future program. We'll be right back. We'll take